Hello, I'm Dan Rather, and welcome to the CBS Evening News online edition. Just ahead, how safe is our food? There may be another case of mad cow disease in America's cattle herds. Also, Eye on America. A father's fatal genetic disease presents his athlete son with a dilemma: to test or not to test. And a photograph of a U.S. Marine put a face on the war in Iraq. Now the face has a name and a voice. It's all starting now on the CBS Evening News online edition. The story of the possible new case of mad cow disease in this country goes this way. The government says the animal that may have had it never got into the human food supply. Even so, any new confirmed case of mad cow could butcher the bottom line for U.S. cattle ranchers. CBS's Wyatt Andrews has the facts, medical and financial.
For consumers, it was an odd-sounding announcement of an inconclusive test for mad cow. According to the USDA, 2 preliminary lab tests found possible mad cow disease in a single animal. More conclusive tests will take 4 to 7 days. Biorad of California, the company that manufactures the test, says 2 inconclusive results raise a flag. A company official tells CBS News it's highly unlikely that this would be found not positive for the disease. Experts still say there is a chance of a false positive. The assuring part is this. After mad cow was found in Washington last December, the U.S. began testing 10 times more animals than before and took all wobbly or downer cows out of the food chain. The animal in question now was discovered because of the new screening rules, and because it did not reach the food supply, the risk to humans is 0.
This animal didn't enter the human food supply or the animal feed supply because everything is so tight now about how these things are managed.
The USDA would not say where the animal lived, but told CBS it has begun tracing where it was raised and how it was fed. But if the test is positive, critics say tracing will be difficult because a long-promised ID system for cattle is still on the drawing boards.
All the cattle who were exposed at the same time as this one should be identified and removed from the human and animal food supply. Today, that can't be done because we don't have nationwide animal trackings in place.
Financially, this announcement could hurt. Japan was on the edge of resuming imports of U.S. beef, a billion-dollar market that was halted by last year's case of mad cow. A positive test now may not pose a threat to food, but could reimpose foreign fears of American exports. Wyatt Andrews, CBS News, Washington.
There are some diseases that aren't spread by germs at all. They are inherited. Well, what if there were a test that could tell you if you inherited a disease that could one day kill you? Would you get the test? CBS News medical correspondent Elizabeth Caledon reports on a real dilemma in tonight's Eye on America.
As the Wisconsin Badgers play host,
it's game night for the University of Wisconsin Badgers, and the pressure's on the team's charismatic center, number 11, Jake Dowell. This sophomore is such a gifted athlete, the NHL has come calling. But tonight, Jake's giving it all for his biggest fan, his father.
It's just the highlight of his life to come watch you play.
Yeah.
So
It really is, I think.
You want a salad?
3 years ago, John Dowell was diagnosed with Huntington's disease, a fatal genetic disorder characterized by jerky, uncontrollable movements and the gradual loss of all body and brain function.
I first started feeling like I had an ear infection.
Come up and eat.
Symptoms generally kick in the 30s and can take 20 years to run their cruel course. There is no cure. So for now, the Dowells manage John's illness with numbing drugs and even more numbing days.
The only thing I can do is watch TV.
Once an active athlete, John Dowell coached his sons through every sport imaginable. Now he has to coach them through the unimaginable.
Had you ever heard of Huntington's disease?
No, I didn't have any idea what it was.
Nor did he know that the gene passes from parent to child. Jake and his brother Luke both have a 50-50 chance of having it themselves. The gene was isolated and identified in 1993. Today, a simple blood test can tell Jake if he has it. Now, this star athlete who's used to facing off against the toughest competitors must face up to an agonizing dilemma. Get tested for the Huntington's gene and face a potential death sentence, or just skate on.
I think there's a huge amount of social pressure on people to get tested.
Neuropsychologist Nancy Wexler says genetic testing for incurable diseases is a double-edged sword. Our culture values knowledge, not ignorance. So not wanting to know is often criticized. Jake Dowell has decided until he wants a family, he'll stay in the dark.
If I test positive for it, I'll feel, what's it doing for me to know?
But it's loose.
With his life and a professional hockey career in front of him, and his father still in the stands, he's hoping for a greater goal.
Here's Jake Dowell with a shot to goal.
That someday soon, there'll be a cure.
Where are we going?
In Madison, Wisconsin, I'm Elizabeth Callahan for Eye on America.
Last week, as we ended one of our broadcasts, we showed you a photograph that caught our eye, a photograph of a young man, a very young American man. At the time, we didn't even know his name, but he became an instant symbol of the brave American servicemen and women who risked their lives every day in Iraq and Afghanistan. To us, it was a photograph we had to share. A U.S. Marine on the front lines of Fallujah. And underneath the dirt, the blood, and the exhaustion, a mother recognized her son.
I was just waiting for a sign, and that was just the greatest sign I could have ever had, was to know that he was okay, and I knew that was my son.
Now we know the name behind the face. Lance Corporal James Blake Miller of the 1-8 Charlie Company, 1st Squad, 1st Platoon.
I was just sitting on a rooftop on my downtime, and I was just talking with my staff sergeant, and we were just smoking a cigarette. Just taking a break from war.
Known as Blake, he joined the military right after high school graduation in Kentucky. He misses his 2 younger brothers, hunting, and homemade peanut butter pie.
You guys ready?
Only 20 years old, he's already a combat veteran.
Shots flying overhead numerous times. Quite a few close calls at certain points to the extent where a Marine couldn't even raise his head up. It's war, sir.
His mother's got 2 messages for him. First, quit smoking.
And I just want him to know that we love him, we miss him, we're so proud. But just stay safe and come home.
And he's got a message for his family.
Just like tell everybody that I love y'all and can't wait to make it back home.
More stories are just a click away, but be sure to join me on television for the on-air edition of the CBS Evening News. On Friday's broadcast, we report about children as young as 4 getting tutored in reading and math. It's a popular program, but are parents pushing kids too hard, too soon? For CBSNews.com, I'm Dan Rather.